All right, so that was the first part. And the second part, what I'm going to show you is that how do we keep score and show it on the screen. Now, the way that we have it now, it's actually not a good way because you're actually getting this alert every time you hit something, which is not realistic. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to be able to draw the score here on the screen. And every time you hit one of these boxes, you actually, depending on your game logic. In our game logic, I'm going to just increase it. Add 10 to the score, right? So if you hit this one, you're actually going to increase it by 20. And if you hit this one, you're going to increase it by 10, all right? So this could be like different monsters or different things on the screen. And depending on what you hit, you will get different reward, all right? So how do we do that? If we go back to the code, here is my code. I'm going to define a variable called score. And this score originally equal to 0. Okay. So here I already got the logic to hit if I hit object 1 or object 2. So now I don't need the alert anymore. What I need though is that I need to increase the score. So I'm going to say score equal score. Object 1 is only worth 10 points. So I'm going to add 10 to it. And object 2 is actually worth 20 points. And I'm going to comment this alert too. And this is 20. All right. So that just to keep the score inside the program. But what about displaying the score? At the end here, I'm going to show you how we do draw text on the screen. I already got the code. No, I don't. So what are we going to do is that we're going to say, we're going to change the font. I got the code here just to make sure. And I'm going to paste it in here. And we got context.font. And then 30%, you can change the different files, whatever different font you want. And then the context.fill text. So the fill text is similar to fill rectangle. And then you can give it whatever you want to type in here. So I'm going to say score equal to what? Equal to whatever the value of my score. So if I'm going to do, what I'll do is that I'll add score to it, which is the value of score. So it will have score 10. And then here's my parameter. Now, there is a problem with this because this is expecting a string. So what I'm going to, let's test it and see what happens, okay? So it will draw this score and whatever the value of score next to it. All right, let's test it. Refresh. At the beginning, we should get score here equal. The position of score is the wrong place. It should say we need to move it to the, usually it's to the right of the screen. So I'm going to go and change it a little bit. And instead of this, I know my screen size is 600. So I'm going to say it's about 520. Okay. And this is a little bit, I'm going to make it 30. And then instead of the font 330, I'm going to make it, for example, let's make it 25. All right. And then since we're going to make the change of the color to white, so it's different than the pink. And this is my context color is white. Okay, Command S. Now, if you go back in here, refresh, you should see a little bit different. Oops, that's too far, right? So how do you do it? You go back and adjust it. 550 is too much, so maybe you're going to make it 420. See what happens, okay? Ideally, you need to calculate the width of your canvas and do the calculation accordingly. Okay, so if I do refresh, okay, that sounds better. Looks better, right? And have some space to grow. Now what happens is that as you get close, watch what's going to happen now. Now I hit the object. Now, because I'm still in the object, every time you move, you will actually get a point. Once you get out, you're not hitting the object anymore, and then you're not getting scores. Now, if I hit it from here, I get again, I get more points. Now, over here, I get more points again when it's because here I'm getting every time I hit it, I get 20. You get the idea? Now, obviously, this is a simple example, but it shows you the pieces of a game development. You have a collision, you have some logic, and you need to keep some sort of a score. All right? All right, so I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to give you an exercise. What you need to do is that, you see how we did that? We put two objects. What you should do is that you put many objects on the screen and put different logic, do something funny. Every time you hit something, maybe the score is different. Maybe you can change the color of that object. You know, every time you hit it, when it becomes, you can give it a life. When you hit it 5 times and then it becomes red instead of yellow. Okay, things like that just to start with, all right? So that is the second video related to collision detection.